Ajanta. Welcome to Export Mastery, presented by Ajanta Trade and Logistics. If you're planning to export for the first time, this podcast is for you. Every successful exporter started with one shipment, but many never get a second opportunity. Not because their product was bad, but because they made avoidable mistakes. At Ajanta Trade and Logistics, we've helped manage more than 1,000 export shipments. We've seen businesses grow into global brands. We've also seen exporters lose valuable overseas buyers because of one small mistake. Our goal isn't to sell you logistics services. Our goal is to help you understand how exporting really works. Because when you understand the process, you make better decisions. And better decisions build long-term international business. Today, I'm joined by Rahul. He's preparing for his very first export shipment. Rahul, welcome to the podcast. Rahul, thank you. I'm really excited. But honestly, I'm also nervous. I've been manufacturing products for years. Selling within India has become routine, but exporting feels completely different. Everyone gives different advice. One person says freight is the biggest challenge. Someone else says customs. Another says documentation is everything. I'm confused. Where should I actually begin? Ajanta. That's one of the most common questions we hear. So let me ask you something. What do you think is the hardest part of exporting? Rahul. I think it's finding international buyers. Once I get an order, everything else should be manageable. Ajanta. That's exactly what most first-time exporters believe. But after handling more than 1,000 export shipments, we've learned something interesting. Finding a buyer isn't usually the hardest part. Keeping that buyer is. Rahul. Really? I thought once the buyer places an order, the difficult part is over. Ajanta. Actually, that's where the real journey begins. Imagine you receive your first export order worth 25 lakh rupees. Your production is complete. Your goods are packed. Everything looks perfect. But one shipping document contains incorrect information. Customs stops your shipment. Your container misses the vessel. Your buyer doesn't receive the cargo on time. Now let me ask you, what will the buyer remember? Your excellent product? Or the delayed delivery? Rahul. Probably the delay. Ajanta. Exactly. International buyers don't just buy products, they buy reliability. Every shipment builds your reputation or damages it. One delayed shipment can affect future business worth much more than the value of the current order. Rahul. I never thought about exporting like that. I always assumed freight forwarding was just booking a container. Ajanta. Many people think that. But freight is only one part of the journey. A good logistics partner helps you plan before the shipment even begins. Documentation, container booking, customs coordination, shipment tracking, buyer communication, risk management. Everything works together. That's how we've always approached exports at Ajanta Trade and Logistics. We don't just move cargo. We help exporters deliver with confidence. Rahul. So exporting isn't only about transportation. It's about planning every step. Ajanta. Exactly. And that's what this podcast is all about. By the end of this series, you'll understand how professional exporters think, how they prepare, how they avoid costly mistakes, and how they build long-term relationships with buyers across the world. In the next chapter, we'll answer a question every new exporter asks. Where should I actually begin? Before I even look for my first international buyer,